5 reasons why Russia won't launch nukes. The first reason is simple geographics. Look how close Russia is to Ukraine, and look how close Moscow is to that country. It doesn't matter how small the nuclear weapon would be that hit Ukraine, the fallout would reach a lot of key Russian cities, possibly even Moscow. Aside from just the fallout, the overall environmental damage would most likely not be contained in Ukraine. It would also reach Belarus, and of course it would go back to Russia. Russia's plans of using nuclear weapons are meant to go into Central Europe, Western Europe, or of course the United States. But the second reason is the most crucial one. I'll list other extra reasons, but this is the one you should really pay attention to. Ukraine's successful drone strike yesterday, called Operation Spiderweb, took over a year and a half to plan, and it struck key Russian air bases to a surprising degree. The news was just released that one of the Ukrainian drone bases used in this strike was right next to the Russian FSB headquarters in the region. The Russian FSB is like the version of our FBI. A few days before that, they hit an elite Russian group all the way across Russia in Vladivostok. And today it was just revealed that Ukraine struck the major bridge linking Russia to the rest of Crimea. This is a key pipeline getting Russian essential personnel and equipment into the rest of Crimea to reinforce what they've occupied, and it is heavily guarded. And the sheer fact that the Ukrainians were able to mine this bridge underwater, under the noses of all of these Russian troops, is alarming. And what's Russia's response? They just go after more innocent civilians, but they don't strike any key infrastructure against Ukraine. So right now, Putin doesn't know how much of Russian military infrastructure has been successfully infiltrated by Ukraine. Putin and the rest of the Russian government might be terrified that Ukraine has hacked or somehow manipulated Russia's nuclear arsenal. So if Russia did want to launch nukes, it might not work, or the nukes may already be programmed to hit somewhere else inside Russia. Who knows? Maybe they're just programmed to fly harmlessly into the ocean. Who knows? It could have been UK or US special forces that did that well before Ukraine had this planned. Remember, in 2023, it was already reported, it was actually leaked, that US and UK special forces have infiltrated the Russian military so heavily that they know what's going on behind Russian lines more than they even do with Ukraine. And here's the third reason why Russia won't launch nukes, and it's kind of tied into the second reason. If Putin decided to launch even one nuclear missile into any part of the world, but let's say Ukraine, then it's over for him. He loses all of his diplomatic standing with China, with Turkey. He becomes persona non grata. And this would happen even if the nuclear weapon didn't work. So imagine if Putin risks it all and then the nuclear bomb doesn't detonate, or it hits somewhere else inside of Russia. How would that make him look? The man who nuked one of his own towns. And that also leads to the fourth reason. If Russia launches a nuke, it doesn't matter if it works or not. That's when NATO goes in, and that's when Moscow gets taken out. Then there's the fifth reason, and it's my favorite one, is Russia has no idea what military tech the United States has. Maybe there's tech that can disable any nuclear weapon that's launched. The US has had an average of $700 to $800 billion of military spending for the past 50, 60 years. So they are $30 trillion of defense spending ahead of Russia. If you add all of those reasons together, especially the second one, even Putin, irrational person that he is, knows he can't launch nukes. I am the Geo Husar, and I am not sorry to burst that Russian bubble. Thanks for watching.